freedom from hunger, rolling back poverty, sustainable livelihoods, passing on the gift, community solidarity, caring for the earth. These are embedded in HEIFER International's mission statement and vision. HEIFER International is an international non-governmental organization present in Cameroon since 1974. As they celebrate their 40th anniversary in the country, how far have they gone to fulfill their mission in Cameroon? And what next for the organization in the country? This is a moment of excitement, a moment of anxiety, an unforgettable moment in the life of HEIFER International Cameroon. They are receiving cattle arriving from the United States of America, Kenya, Ireland, and South Africa. This Holstein Friesian breed of cattle can produce as much as 10 times the amount of milk produced by the local breeds. This, in fact, is a moment when history repeats itself. In 1937, Dan West, an American Indiana farmer, Church of the Brethren educator, and a relief worker during the Spanish Civil War, distributed milk to hungry families in Spain. He soon realized that hunger could not simply be ended by handouts, but by long-term development and education. As he put it, not a cup, but a cow. HEIFER International began as Heifers for Relief on July 14, 1944, with a shipment of 18 cows to Puerto Rico, with Dan West donating 3 of them. He named Hope, Faith, and Charity. By working with generous donors and partners, HEIFER International's dream of eradicating hunger and poverty is becoming a reality. From those early beginnings, HEIFER International has built rewarding and sustainable lives for about 22.6 million families, or 114.9 million people around the world. The Cameroon program has contributed to this success through their development package to its targeted population, the resource-poor farmers who make up to 80% of those who feed the population. They often live on less than $1 a day.
When you walk in a community, the first time you enter that community, when you see the farm families, you see their situation at the entry point. Sometimes you return back home, you find it difficult even to eat.
When you just look at it surfacely, you say there is food in Northwest. If you get to areas, let me not even go far, in Tuba here, I mean, you have areas that immediately it is March, during the planting period, they don't have food to eat.
The work of HEIFER International in Cameroon effectively started in 1974 with the importation of 22 dairy cattle. The primary objective was to address the problem of protein malnutrition in Cameroon, and so the cattle imported were initially aimed at improving the dairy subsector in Cameroon and making animal protein readily available and cheaply too to the population. This was in collaboration with the government of Cameroon through the National Institute for Zoological Research in Bambui in the mid-70s and 80s. Mr. Maxime Wangu Joseph was there in 1974.
In January 1974, Dr. Thurl Metzger came from Little Rock and arrived Bambui Station. And I was the one who took him around to show him the research center. He returned to Little Rock after that appraisal visit. And somewhere around March, April of 1974, the first couple came to Bambui to prepare for the arrival of the exotic animals that were following. And the names of that couple, Roger Rao and Cora Rao. So November the 5th, 1974, we received the 22 cattle that arrived Bamboo. And I was at Bamboo Station to receive them, and some of us, the senior staff, were in Douala and received those animals by air. And we were very happy because we even celebrated the arrival of the animals by having a cocktail party. I took Holsteins or jerseys and their crossbreds to Wom. I took some to Bui. We even sent some to a missionary organization at Bangem. Following that, we created the pilot dairy center at Ngaoundere.
The initial focus of HEIFER Project International in Cameroon was on research to build a genetic base on which the Cameroon livestock industry would expand.
The skills and ability to adapt and reproduce and maintain or get an upgraded quality of genetic material needed people with skills. And that's why research was the background of the structure that the HEIFER started working with. And so in those early days, researchers were trained, research institutions and infrastructures were actually put in place.
I went to the United States with other Cameroonians. I was at the University of Maryland at College Park, and in 4 years I got a Bachelor of Science degree in Animal Sciences, and then I had a Master of Science degree in Evaluation and Organizational Assessment.
The imported cattle adapted well to the climate in the northwest region and the Adamawa, and as from the late 80s, they were offered on passing on the gift basis to local resource-poor farmers to boost milk production as well as a source of livelihoods and self-reliance for the farmers. Farmers who receive gifts of livestock are expected to pass on one of the female offspring of the cows as a gift to another needy farm family. That is the founding principle of HEIFER International.
They were dealing with groups. So I went there, I applied, and we also formed our own group. In January 9, 2003, they gave me one HEIFER. Then the agreement was that when the animal calf, you give the first offspring when it is 18 months. You make sure you breed it, they take it, they call it passing on the gift. We just call it the POG ceremony. When they take it, they hand it over to another farmer. So that's how I came to them. So when I came and applied, after they read my application, they came round because the first qualification is you are land. So when they came round, they saw that we equally have enough land. So they accepted in and they called me for training. So we went for training. They trained us before they gave us the animals. So immediately I came back. I was so lucky that my animal calved the very day that was being given to me. It calved and it was a female. I was so happy. So I brought it up to that 18 months, breeded it, then gave my POG and they handed it over to another farmer.
The milk was an appreciable source of revenue. Farmers sold it as well as other milk products that they learned how to process. Today, the Adamawa and the Northwest regions, where HEIFER International laid its foundation, are the highest milk producers in Cameroon.
Today, Northwest proud itself to be the highest producers of milk in Cameroon, thanks to that effort of HEIFER. And so if you take the case, you have dairy cooperatives now in Mezam, in Bui, and parts of Boyo.
Management of large animals was not easy for all farm families. HEIFER International Cameroon diversified by importing other high-performing livestock, including poultry, rabbits, cavies known locally as guinea pigs, goats and pigs that they gave out to farmers in need on the passing on the gift basis. Jacob is one of those who received guinea pigs.
They are very good meat to us. It is easy sometimes that we take a few of them and then we make soup there. It reduces the cost of our going to the market to buy meat as we were buying as usual. Now that meat is so expensive, we are having almost 30 guinea pigs now, really. Also sometimes we used to sell them. You used to also give some to some farmers like POG, so that when they grow, they come and still give us. We also give to other farmers.
At present, the family has 20 rabbits. He may not be exactly rich, but thanks to these animals, his family has food security all year round. In addition to the animals he rears, he also grows a wide variety of food crops around his compound. Before being assisted by HEIFER International Cameroon, Mrs. Ayebe Marguerite's family suffered from food insecurity.
Avant là, c'était mauvais. Se nourrir même, on ne pouvait pas. Travailler même, savoir ce qu'on doit faire, je ne pouvais pas.
Alors, va dans la grand-père.
Previously, she barely made 100,000 CFA francs a year. Her family is large. Housing was poor. After her gift from HEIFER International and several forms of training, she was able to increase her annual income over tenfold to about 800,000 CFA francs per year. Her family's situation has changed drastically. In its 40-year history, HEIFER International Cameroon has assisted more than 50,000 farm families and more than 301,000 dependents. Assistance to farmers is given together with a strong emphasis on training. Training is considered as a gift which can also be passed on to others.
One of the core cornerstones of HEIFER is training and education. And we emphasize for everything that we do as HEIFER, most of our emphasis, about 60% of our emphasis is on training. We actually impact a lot of knowledge and the farmers acquire the skills and they do them themselves. Then and scale up and also multiply the skills to other members of the community through passing on the gift.
By the end of the first decade, HEIFER Project International Cameroon had been led by the Rose, Dr. Herman Salk, Tom Needham, and Dr. Gerald Williams. Up until now, HEIFER Project International had been working under the umbrella of IRZ while working to formalize the collaboration with the Cameroonian government. Only several temporary agreements were reached. However, HEIFER Project International Cameroon at one stage worked under the umbrella of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon.
If I have one regret, it's only the regret that we did not get our country agreement much earlier. We got it all the same, but it came a little bit late, because the country agreement would have permitted us to have a lot of facilities, like duty-free status, like importing our cars and other materials free of duty, and it would have actually helped us a lot.
During its second decade, HEIFER Project International concentrated its efforts on humanitarian actions. These are the settlement camps of the Lake Nyos disaster victims. The lake spewed poisonous gas in 1986, killing several people and practically wiping out the livestock of communities around the lake. HEIFER Project International provided them with livestock, gave them crop seeds, and introduced animal traction in the area. These actions helped the communities to get back on their feet. Another notable entity that benefited from this humanitarian assistance was St. Joseph's Children and Adult Home, Sojoka, Bafut. It is a center that takes care of the disabled who are often from very poor backgrounds and can neither contribute to their own treatment nor upkeep.
This milk helps a lot. They drink the milk in the morning and in the afternoon. So the milk and the cows, sometimes we use the cows for meat. Often we kill at least twice a year, we kill a cow, and that serves as meat. And I can see that it has really improved the diet of the clients who are living here.
It seems as if HEIFER Project International abandoned its traditional role.
It's a learning organization. As the environment, the opportunities, the challenges, we learn and then adapt what best works. Over the years now, other components came. It's not just about animal. HEIFER is a people-focused organization, transforming the lives of the people. So the livestock are just a tool, a means to get them to come out of poverty.
The well-being and health of farm animals is very important to HEIFER International. HEIFER Project International saw in ethno-veterinary practices a wealth of indigenous knowledge waiting to be tapped for the benefit of animal health.
This one is Alconia codifolia. It's a very powerful medicine when it concerns powerful grass, when it concerns the concoction for animals, particularly pigs. So it is really common within the Southwest.
Mr. Ndum Simon, a HEIFER Project International assisted farmer who had 200 pigs but never lost any during the worst swine fever epidemic in Cameroon, was one of those brought in to train other farmers.
The impact is that first, take Manu division, for example. Fellas and the African swine fever has reduced all along because people have been practicing the Enovet. That we have less mortality in terms of pigs. Then I receive telephone calls from groups like Nkonsamba and Manjo. Each time there is the epidemic, to tell me we brushed it over. We hadn't any problem in my farm because I had given them the preventive measures.
From 1989, HEIFER Project International embarked on classifying and describing the uses of plants employed in ethno-veterinary medicine under the leadership of Dr. Mopoy Nuwayakpa, the then country director.
We are 286 ethnic groups in Cameroon. That means for every plant known, there is a traditional specialist in each language. We have a lot that right up till now has not been exploited.
Dr. Wormum Clare and others worked with the Fulani cattle rearers to do the first classification. HEIFER Project International has built a herbarium and has produced ethno-vet manuals for farmers. During the second decade, the dairy program continued to evolve, with many options being considered. The option of zero grazing, as opposed to semi-intensive rearing, was adopted during this decade. Thanks to this, the average milk production per animal per day more than tripled from 6 to 21 liters. It was also an environmentally friendly choice in that the animal waste could be better managed. Other alternatives to live animal importation included artificial insemination of both local cattle and exotic breeds with imported semen of dairy breeds, while embryo transfer technology was being contemplated. By the end of the second decade, HEIFER Project International was led by Lowell Watts, Charles Talbot, and Dr. Mopoy Nwanyakpa. In order to spread the benefits of its work, HEIFER International continued to expand and is today present in 6 of the 10 regions of Cameroon. By the beginning of the fourth decade, the 6 regions were transformed into 4 program zones, representing 4 of 5 agroecological zones and therefore giving a broader prospect of covering the whole of Cameroon. The Office of the Equatorial Rainforest Program was established in Yaoundé and addressed development needs in the scope of the center, south, and east regions of Cameroon. Through this program, HEIFER International Cameroon found out that farmers' main preoccupations were to improve nutrition and increase revenue.
Ces populations concernant toujours l'élevage ont appris à ne plus laisser les animaux en divagation. On verra les animaux attelés dans les petites parcelles de Bracaria ou de Guatemala, mais on ne les verra pas en divagation. Donc ça, c'est le gros acquis au niveau de la communauté. Et concernant l'agriculture, les communautés qui ne pratiquaient pas le maraîcher le pratiquent à fond. Ils font de la tomate, ils font des légumes de contre-saison. On sait que les cultures de contre-saison augmentent énormément le revenu.
The West region became part of the Western Highlands program.
The applications that come here, the area of low production, aspect of livestock and crop, the soil not being fertile again. Then there's also the aspect of marketing, the market not being organized. And then there are the aspect of value addition. It may be they are producing and they cannot store and sell when the market is good. Preservation, conservation, etc. So based on that, those applications that come in, then we now compile it and see that actually there's a need, which means that the willingness of the people is like the starting point.
In the West region, farmers were assisted by subsidizing the cost of constructing animal pens and trained to practice integrated farming, leading to better soil fertility.
On a amélioré aussi l'agriculture à base de fientes de porc de 2 tonnes à 3 tonnes de maïs. L'année passée, ils ont vu comment j'ai cultivé le maïs. Ça a produit de meilleurs épis. Bon, je les ai conseillé que c'était les fientes de porc que j'ai mis au champ. Elles ont aussi exploité cette idée-là pour utiliser les fientes dans leur champ. Cette année-ci, on a ensemble réussi avec nos projets de l'agriculture.
Increased revenue contributed to maintaining children in school. HEIFER International developed activities that are appropriate and well adapted to the different agroecological niches and cultures of the people.
We have been actually responding to the need of the people and also based on the agroecological areas where the people are. When farmers in an area roll in an application for assistance, the first thing is for HEIFER technical staff to do a feasibility study. Is that environment having issues like water, grass, climate, all those things? Is technically, can the environment support the livestock? Secondly, we look at the economic feasibility. Is this animal capable of producing and giving returns to the family? We also look at the socio-cultural acceptability of the animal.
In the Southwest region, for example, snails are a highly valued delicacy. Farmers and their children used to hunt for them in the wild at night, which was not safe. With training, they have been particularly successful with the rearing of snails. Snails are a rich source of animal protein. 9 of 10 essential amino acids needed by the human body are high in iron and low in cholesterol. Income generated from this activity has graduated young people from universities, people who today are professionals like barristers, engineers, who are in their turn supporting their families. By the end of the third decade, HEIFER International Cameroon's leaders included Dr. Njue Ruben, the first ever Cameroonian to hold this position, Dr. Henry Njakoy, and Professor Sar Leby. At the beginning of the fourth decade, HEIFER International Cameroon initiated the Sudano-Sahel program with office in the far north regional capital, Maroua, and covering the 3 northern regions of Cameroon, the Adamawa, the north, and the far north regions. The level of rainfall in this program zone is very low and is threatened with desertification. Two priority preoccupations are therefore water management and the intense scarcity of fuel wood. HEIFER International Cameroon has been providing boreholes and biosand filters in some communities, as well as a means of obtaining potable water.
Dans le village, nous sommes à environ 40 filtres. Vous voyez d'abord cette bouteille d'eau. C'est l'eau qu'on buvait avant. Ça venait directement de la source. Après avoir filtré, on a eu l'autre bouteille ici, qui est bien claire déjà. Avec cette eau, on ne connaît plus assez de maladies.
Mrs. Ayebe Marguerite from the Central Region of Cameroon received training in the Southwest region on how to manufacture biosand filters.
Beaucoup en avaient le mal de typhoïde, les diarrhées, etc. Vous voyez, tous ces enfants-là n'ont plus ce problème. Et aussi, même au niveau de la communauté, parce que même nos bébés qui naissent là dans les villages viennent prendre cette eau. Donc ça veut dire que ça a éliminé beaucoup de maladies hydriques au niveau du village. J'ai déjà formé près de 500 à 600 personnes dans la zone du centre et jusqu'à l'extrême nord.
In rural areas, fuel wood is the principal source of energy, used especially for cooking. It is not good for health and contributes to deforestation. In its innovative and environmentally friendly package integrated into the farming practices, dung from animals is used to produce methane gas. HEIFER International Cameroon assisted farmers to have private biogas plants constructed. Using the gas for cooking is a big advantage for families.
We dey cook as we like. I fit put my small chop for there. I cook my beans, anything. First time they be the chop go school way, they be the chop na cold chop because fire will not be there for hot chop. But now, pikin no fit chop way they no hot up. Biogas no be there, so I be dey send the pikin there for bush. They be the worker, they fetch firewood. They enter for people their fence, they fetch firewood. But now, they don't make am so because the biogas they help with.
There is enormous potential for this biogas project, as some farmers have shown. In addition to cooking, they use it to power generators, providing electricity. Slurry, the end product from biogas production, is used as a very efficient manure, which cuts out the use of chemical fertilizers. HEIFER International Cameroon has been very effective because it has assisted farmers through groups. It has encouraged groups to become better organized by converting themselves to common initiative groups and eventually cooperatives.
Most of the groups that HEIFER is working with are common initiative groups. They are registered. But now, since the government brought out this policy, HEIFER has trained a lot of groups to migrate from the common initiative groups to cooperatives. Being a cooperative now means you're adding a value and you can go more into business. So they are looking at farming now more as a business, not just a means of subsistence.
Gender and youth has also been a cross-cutting theme.
We had a very stereotyped environment. We work with people where the men were domineering, the boys were overbearing, and the girls were kind of domestic servants, and the women were kind of tolerated at home. They were to be seen and not to be heard.
One way of addressing the issue of gender has been by working with families, promoting gender equity amongst men and women, girls and boys.
When we are working at home, during extension visit, the training, etc., we work with your family, husband, wife, and then the children, such that if one person is not there, the next person knows totally what he or she is supposed to do.
Mr. Eyebe is today one of the greatest supporters of his wife and of HEIFER International Cameroon because he has seen the effects of gender equity in his family. Training in gender equity released the potentials in his wife.
C'est à partir de HEIFER que j'ai eu l'idée qu'une femme peut faire quelque chose, surtout dans le genre. Ça nous a amené maintenant que mon mari et moi, et toute ma famille, qu'on se mette ensemble, qu'on établisse au moins c'est le point de vie. Vous voyez? Donc avant, là, c'est chacun qui faisait de son côté. Si moi, je vends un peu mon manioc là-bas, ils ne connaissaient même pas. Et il y avait des problèmes.
HEIFER don't assist we for train we up for be together with the family. Gender focus, we did together with the madam, we discuss things together, we do things together, we work farms together. Then problem quarreling, be for family as I be before.
In the Equatorial Rainforest Program, they consider gender equity promotion as one of their greatest successes.
En termes d'acquis de ce côté-là, je crois que ce sont nos plus grosses victoires. Parce que quand nous arrivions ici, c'était très difficile de voir monsieur, madame et les enfants assis, juste en train de discuter. Pas du tout. C'est-à-dire, madame, on sait que son travail, c'est. Et tout le travail reposait sur la femme et sur la jeune fille. Le petit garçon et le papa n'avaient pratiquement rien à faire. Aujourd'hui, toutes les familles, sans risque de me tromper, peut-être 98%, mais pratiquement toutes les familles que nous avons assistées mettent leurs revenus ensemble, discutent de l'avenir des enfants ensemble, apportent tout. C'est-à-dire le travail ne repose plus sur une personne. La femme aujourd'hui sait que non, elle a une voix, elle se permet même d'aller assister aux réunions. À l'heure actuelle, je crois que nous sommes à plus de 300-400 femmes dans les communautés assistées qui sont membres des grands groupes de la communauté, c'est-à-dire que qui ont le droit de prendre la parole, qui sont conseillères, qui sont notables au sein de la communauté.
Mrs. Eyebe is a respected community leader. Thanks to her achievements, she won the Golden Talent Award in 2015 with a cash prize of 500,000 francs CFA for her community and her family.
Moi, quand j'ai appris ça, je ne croyais pas. Je me suis rendue personnellement au bureau pour qu'on me confirme. C'est une grande joie.
Still under the Gender and Youth Program, HEIFER International Cameroon gave precious attention to the youth, sensitizing them on gender equity, building their entrepreneurial skills, and making them see that there is a future in agriculture. The youth who received this training became interested in agriculture, started their own projects, the process to become self-reliant. Other youth took up community service as these ones here in Bulu community in Poma, sensitizing their community on HIV and AIDS. HIV and AIDS is another cross-cutting thematic project of HEIFER International Cameroon.
HEIFER is engaged very much into voluntary counseling and testing. HEIFER is engaged very much in assisting orphans, children orphaned by HIV/AIDS, by giving them livestock that is adapted to their situation, that's adapted to their health challenges, so that they can sell those livestock, they can access their treatment, they can eat those livestock, they can build their immune system, they can stay strong, they can see something to live for. In Kumbu, there is a man who he left town, he was diagnosed with HIV/AIDS, he knew he was going to die. But HEIFER assisted him. The last time I visited him, he had over 30 sheep. And they were doing very well. He was a role model. I never even thought he was sick. So these are the approaches that HEIFER is using for people to come forth, know their status, live a very healthy life, live a productive life, and contribute their quota in community development.
The impact and legacy of HEIFER International Cameroon is huge. From the importation of 22 dairy cattle 40 years ago, the organization has led the dairy sector in Cameroon to come a long way indeed. Thanks to that influence, cottage dairy industries are cropping up here and there in the northwest, west and Ndamawa regions to process the surplus milk being produced mostly by farm families. This is providing income both for the farm families and those employed in these factories.
In the area of environment, HEIFER has been contributing, because we can't do all, and actually in protecting watersheds. Water is life. In the communities where we work, we actually mobilize the farmers and train them on how to protect watersheds. Maybe plant water-loving trees around watersheds or water catchments. Also in the areas like in the far north, we have been doing a lot of planting of trees. These are some of the ways that we try to fight climate change in our way.
Improved stoves in the Sudan-Sahel zone to address the chronic challenge of fuel wood scarcity, and biogas in the Western Highlands to reduce deforestation, high yields achieved through organic farming are all creating an impact. The powerful turnout of farmers at the exhibition stands during the 40th anniversary celebration of HEIFER International Cameroon from all over the country is testimony to the overall impact of the organization. They came with all sorts of products: honey, corn, millet, farm animals, medicinal herbs, etc. HEIFER International has lifted thousands of people out of poverty and put many on the road to prosperity.
I cannot say that I'm poor. I was poor at first. Then HPI took me like that, trained me, gave me so many trainings that I can be proud to say that I'm not poor. If I want to ask somebody to help me, it's just because I know that one hand cannot tie a bundle. It's not really that I'm really all that poor, because if my children can attend nursery school, primary school, secondary school, high school, university, then with diplomas, PhDs, all the like, then I cannot call myself a poor person.
Mary Siri, who started with 1 cow, now has over 18. She has a farmhouse to lodge 2 shepherds that she employs. She's here congratulating her shepherd on the birth within a few months of 3 new calves on the farm.
They like petting.
They have 10 paddocks. She also carries out many other activities. Today, she has a clear vision of what to do.
My plans are to get in more animals, to process my yogurt by using the machines, not more the hands again. Before the year 2017 goes to an end, there must be a factory of that farm.
The Fortiers now dare to dream big.
HEIFER don't really live from nothing to something. First time, I don't even get bank account. But now get bank account. Go to save money. In the sake of any some problem, we'll just go receive them, we'll just solve the problem, we will not go worry. Now, so first time, I don't even see television for us. Because way for buy television, no be big. But as half have come, cow don't cap for me, I sell and buy television. The second one I sell them, I buy plot, 2 plot. So I have 2 farming plot now in a HEIFER, they don't bring me up, so I get income for buy the plot. So I be very grateful for what you have, I don't do them for inside this family. School, all picking they go school. But at first, they will just mingle around, lurching around. But now all picking, they attend school. I know they even over stress for pay their fee. And I would see now say, very soon we'll get a car. We will facilitate way for the fine forest for feed the cow. We'll buy a car. Before the end of this year, we'll have a car. So that's what I have done in our life. What we never think before, but they come to realize it in our life, in this family. So the family, even the environment, the community now, they see we. First time they look with like nothing. But now so they let it see we like some people that inside the community.
Success is not just a matter of few individuals. In fact, when you visit a village like Akum, where many farmers are so dynamic, thanks to HEIFER International Cameroon, you can feel it in the air. They're not just subsisting.
When you see good houses and you even look at the people, you will see that in fact they are hardworking, they eat well. Through the dairy farming which we are doing now, everybody with his family is okay. So we are very proud, and that's why we are doing everything to promote this dairy farming here.
I can say the greatest impact with HEIFER's work in Cameroon and generally globally has been giving people, the ability to move themselves out of poverty. Where you see farm families where an issue was maybe, for example, misunderstanding, poor management of resources, maybe between the husband and the wife, and all of that. And after they attend a gender training, you come and then you see how they pull together the resource together to move forward. What is more striking is you see a family and a community where people look at themselves as beggars, but today you look at those same communities and people, they see themselves as people who actually support HEIFER to move forward through passing on the gift, the dignity in them.
HEIFER International Cameroon has also succeeded because of close collaboration with a multitude of partners, including the United States Agency for International Development and the Cameroon government, just to name these few. At the 40th anniversary celebrations, the government of Cameroon was represented by the Minister of Livestock, Fisheries and Animal Industries.
Minister of Livestock, Fisheries and Animal Industries, you are welcome to the 40th anniversary of HEIFER International Cameroon.
The governor of the Northwest region, the government delegate to the Bamenda City Council, the senior divisional officer for Mizam, the HEIFER International Regional Director for West Africa were all present, as well as guests from as far as the Netherlands, diplomatic services, dignitaries, and of course, hundreds of farmers who all wanted to testify for what HEIFER International Cameroon had done to their lives. The speech of the government delegate to the Bamenda City Council reflected that spirit of gratitude.
I am honored to welcome all of you here in Bamenda as we join HEIFER Project International Cameroon to celebrate her Ruby Jubilee. Indeed, it is our pride that for the past 40 years running, the city of Bamenda has played host to the country program head office of such a lofty project. And so, for all what our communities here in Bamenda and the entire region here at large have benefited from this program, we hereby do return sincere gratitude, even as we encourage and push HEIFER Project International Cameroon to greater heights. Thus, we are gathered here today to share in 40 years of dedicated work and tremendous progress in fighting hunger, poverty, and caring for the earth.
I wish to thank the present team of the HEIFER Cameroon for collaborating with the Minister of Livestock in fighting against hunger and poverty. I wish to praise those who come before the present team for the great achievement because they laid a solid foundation. On behalf of the Governor of Cameroon, I express my sincere thanks to HEIFER Cameroon and expect that they continue with the good works carried out for the past 40 years. To you farmers, from all the places where HEIFER has been involved, I congratulate you.
The greatest impact is that it facilitates government effort, because government cannot do everything.
A HEIFER staff visiting a HEIFER International Assisted Common Initiative group. This is the reception she gets. One of the reasons why HEIFER International has been so successful is the high level of dedication of its staff.
Travailler avec les populations rurales, c'est très intéressant parce qu'en fait, tu réalises le changement de mentalité, de comportement. Tu vois quelqu'un qui passe d'un point A à un point B meilleur que le point A. Tu arrives dans un village inconnu, vous devenez des amis, vous devenez des membres de la famille. C'est une véritable passion de travailler avec HEIFER. Ça va au-delà du boulot.
When you see somebody that you saw some few months ago who could not even smile, then you see those changes. That is what has really kept some of us high in the work.
Perhaps the greatest reason for the success of HEIFER International, the same one that makes it different from other development organizations, is the passing on the gift philosophy. It has the power to transform communities everywhere. In 40 years, HEIFER International Cameroon had hundreds of passing on the gift ceremonies, and these were among the happiest times.
It's filled with joy. That's one of the most exciting moments in the life of a community and in a group when they fulfill that function. And it's something that is beyond expression, because they see themselves as a surprise that could this be us doing this now, like donors and providing help to others. It's a joyous time.
This year, 2015, HEIFER International takes a new direction in Cameroon.
I and other HEIFER leaders took the difficult decision 3 years ago to focus our work in Africa and in other areas in which we operate. Through research and discussions, we concluded that HEIFER can make the greatest impact in West Africa if we concentrate our resources and our expertise to develop large-scale projects which address the challenges facing communities in the Sahel.
HEIFER will be facing new challenges in the bigger West Africa program in the Sahel region, the Sahel program. The biggest challenge will be the rational use of water resources for battling hunger and poverty and caring for the earth. Using the same philosophy and the same cornerstones, the prospects for success are high. Some of the passing on the gift livestock assets of HEIFER International Cameroon have been converted to infrastructures like classrooms, markets, sheds, culverts, public toilets and bridges that will benefit the whole community. In Mugu, for example, classrooms were added to this school with the assistance of the American Leprosy Mission. At Yambassa, in the center region, the children in the technical school did their practicals literally under a tree. The community expressed the wish to have a proper workshop built for the students.
The aspect of sustainability is really the strong point of HEIFER. Before we enter, as we enter a community and we return the community for assistance, we sensitize them on the 12 cornerstones. When we sensitize them on the 12 cornerstones, what I've really experienced is that those 12 cornerstones change their attitude, their behavior.
The success of the passing on the gift philosophy has inspired the regional delegation of livestock to design a similar project. They'll also supervise the handling of assets in the form of cattle held by dairy cooperative members in the Western Highlands to make sure that the gift continues to be passed on.
I have proposed, and we are ready that they bring us in as on board in their draft contract as a supervisor, and who to ensure that these animals are in good custody so that they continue to impact and improve on the livelihood of the families that they had started. With the idea they have brought in, we too have conceived a project at the ministerial level, and we now have, which is starting off to Norway, livestock and fishery development project. Thanks, we're also thinking that we will increase the base and give many other farmers to get into dairy, since the all countries now looking to the Northwest as a model in dairy production.
Central to HEIFER Cameroon's strategy for sustainability is the idea of passing on the gift, which is really about communities taking on the knowledge and the resources that they've acquired from the organization over the last 40 years and making sure that they continue in perpetuity, making sure that those practices carry on into the future. So it's really not just about the animals, it's not just about the assets and the resources, it's about the knowledge as well and the transformation that it brings to the community.